What is up, everybody, and welcome back. It's October, folks, and we're finally in spooky season. Guess what we're doing? A retrospect on Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Say what you will, but this is perhaps the weirdest entry in this franchise. So grab your pumpkin ale if that's your thing, dim the lights, and lock the door. Michael might be family, but he's bad family. Now let's roll. All right, so before we slash into them guts, let's set the scene without spoiling the kills. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers hit theaters September 29th, 1995. Literally 30 years ago this month. If you're scoring at home, of course. Directed by Joe Chappelle, scripted by superfan Daniel Farrens, and starring the immortal Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis. Well, I mean, sorta. Plus a fresh-faced Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle. All grown up. Yeah, that Paul Rudd, before he was, went full superhero. This flick picks up 6 years after the worst entry in this franchise. Yeah, that would be Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, where our boogeyman got a ridiculous cryptic rune tattoo and a shadowy man in black that randomly showed up without any explanation, pulling the strings. Now, Michael's back in Haddonfield. But this time, it's not just mindless stalking. I mean, there's a curse, a cult, and some ancient Celtic voodoo shit, tying it all to the original sin of the night on Halloween, 78, right? It's got the babies at Pearl, the family reunion's gone wrong, and enough exposition to make you wonder, how did we come here of all places? Critics called it a mess. Rotten Tomatoes, it sits at like a sad 12%, dude. But for diehards like myself, it's the Halloween that dared to explain the unexplainable. It's the one that tried to close the book on Michael's mythology, if you will. But it also opened up Pandora's box of what ifs. So why revisit it now? Well, because in a franchise that's bloated with reboots and requels, H6 is that wild child that just says, screw the timeline and everything we built, let's go full conspiracy. It's flawed, it's got a million hints that it should have been a TV movie, and it's the last ride for Pleasance's Loomis before his tragic passing. Pour one out for the doc. If you've only seen the theatrical cut, buckle up. We're about to unpack why the producer's cut is the real resurrection. If you thought this movie was bad, dude, wait till you research the making of Halloween 6. It's a fucking horror story from the get-go. More Knives Out, off screen than on. I mean, let's rewind to 93, dude. Halloween 5 bombed harder than anyone could have imagined. 11 million domestic on a $5 million budget, but audiences were over the shapes like silent little shtick, dude. Mustafa, the producer, who's shepherded the series since Halloween 4, he hit pause and said, we need answers. He's, we want to know what to do next. And dude, this is a real thing too. If you go back and you look at a lot of the production that Mustafa played in a lot of these films, it's very similar to what happens here with 6, except for not as insane as what happens here on 6. So enter Daniel Farrens, right? He is a young 24-year-old Halloween fanatic encyclopedia with binders thicker than Michael's obsession. Farrens crafts a script that he calls Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers. Tie in the rune from 5 to a thorn cold, dude. The Celtic runes from Halloween 3, and even the Sam Hain lore. And dude, for those of you that are going to throw a fit, I know I'm saying Sam Hain wrong. That's on purpose. If you don't know what I'm saying, just go watch Halloween 2. You'll understand why I chose to call Saw Wayne Sam Hain. Anyway, it's ambitious, dude. It's mythic. It's a love letter to John Carpenter's original. This soon-to-be bomb has exactly what it needs to be a success. But here's the first stab. Franchise rights just lapse. Cue the bidding war. Akkad goes with then upstart Dimension Films, which is the Weinstein's horror arm, if you will. Dimension wins, but they're mainstream. And, it's mainstream suits, essentially. Think like Scream, polish, right? Without Halloween's grit. They greenlight Farrens' script, and they hire TV vet Joe Chappelle to direct. The casting, though, for what it's worth, is gold. Pleasance returns. He was gushing about how it's one of the best scripts that he'd ever read. And then there's Paul Rudd. He lands Tommy, his feature film debut, though he hid it from agents fearing that it would tank his rom-com dreams, which is nuts when you hear about that now. Then there's Marion Hagen as Kara Strode, Devin Gardner as her kid Danny. Solid. Principal photography kicks off in October of 94 in Salt Lake City because Haddonfield has to have that small town feel. Utah's got that eerie small town feel. But winter hits early, crews are fighting snowstorms to fake fucking autumn leaves and like so on and so forth, dude. But off camera, it's pure turmoil. Dimension clashes with Akkad and Paul Freeman, the co-producer. The Weinsteins want gore, quick cuts, MTV flash. Think New Nightmare energy. Chappelle is a first-time featured guy who bends to studio pressure, ignoring Farron's like atmospheric vision, dude. Daily script rewrites from Freeman send the crew home early, wasting daylight. And get this, Danielle Harris, who played Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4 and 5, she's now 18 and wants a raise from her kid's scale size salary of $300 a day. Dimension says no, dude. They won't budge past 4's pay. Harris fights this, hires some lawyers, racks up like $5K in fees, and fucking walks. She gets replaced by JC Brandy, who dies in Act 1 anyway. Brutal, dude. Then there's the Weinstein's grilling of Hagen for being too skinny with a pointy chin. She spends shoots hiding her face, adding unintended tension to scenes. Rumors like swirl, dude, of Tarantino himself scripting a homeless Michael rewrite with Scott Spiegel to direct. Spiegel dodges a bullet, though, calls it a nightmare, dude. And then Farron's, dude, he's sidelined. He gets to watch his baby get fucking mutilated. Filming wraps in December of 94. Pleasance films his last scenes. And I'd argue with class, knowing it's his swan song. Post-production, test screenings in New York. Hank, dude, the audiences just hate it. Audiences hate the cult reveal, the rune power-up, Dude, Dimension panics. They're like, all right, reshoots, new film, new kills, flashier pace, exploding heads. But Pleasance, dude, he's dead now from heart failure at 75. And he died in February of 95. There are no reshoots. There's no body double. It's really just stock footage. And Farron's, dude, he got banned from set. Akkad ended up suing for Final Cut, and he loses. He tries an injunction to shelve the film entirely, but lawyers say, just let it go. Now, the franchise at this point is teetering on direct-to-video oblivion, dude. Crazy when you think about it, right? This film's, like, it ended up looking like what should have been just that. Dimension almost dumps it straight to tape, dooming Halloween to the bargain bin hell like Friday the 13th part. But what do you know, gang? Greed wins. They released theatrically barely. This wasn't filmmaking, dude. It was a cult ritual gone wrong. The title, The Curse of Michael Myers, yeah, that's Farron's dark joke on the production hex. And boy, did it fucking stick. Spoiler warnings ahead, though. All right? I'm warning you now, there are spoilers in this. We're dissecting both the cuts. If you haven't seen them, dude, pause and stream the producer's cut on Shudder. Stream, Scream Factory has the 4K. It's amazing, dude. Chef's kiss. I'll see you in 5. Just kidding. Now, the two versions, two nightmares, right? The theatrical cut is 91 minutes. It's Dimension's hack job. Paced like an 80s MTV music video crammed with reshoots. Now, the producer's cut, aka the true cut, 108 minutes. It's Akkad and Freeman's assembly, locked before reshoots, leaked on VHS bootlegs in 96. Official Blu-ray in 2014 is slower. It's moodier, cold heavy. It's the cold of colds when it comes to slashers. But let's compare it scene by scene. Opening, same baby and Pearl birthright, but producer's cut lingers on the Thorn cult's ritual, shadowy chanting, marking the kid with the Thorn rune. Theatrical cuts it quick, dude. Less mystery, more jump scare intense. It is intense, I should say, but it's more based on jump scare, really. Let's see. I mean, setting the tone. Producer's cut is a conspiracy thriller, really. Theatrical is kind of a body count romp. It arguably falls in line with the Halloween stereotype. Now, mid-film meet. All right. Jamie's death. Theatrical. Instant fucking gut punch, dude. It's a gut stab. She's gone, dude, and it feels just cheap, like killing off a fan fave for freaking shock value. Producer's cut. Michael hesitates. He stabs, but doesn't finish her. She crawls away, gasping about, warnings about the curse. Little more haunting, if you will, just in my opinion. More Loomis, too, dude. Pleasance gets that extra monologue, like tying back to Halloween, the original. His eyes, they're wilder, voice is cracking. Theatrical trim for pace, though, robbing us of Doc's true form. That's really what happens. And the kills, the theatrical amps up the gore. I mean, homie's head explodes in action, dude. Like, I'm talking action movie style fashion. But, it's reshot gore fest. Now, cult leader Wen himself gets chainsawed mid-ritual. It's flashy. Fun if you're into the excess. Producer's cut. It's subtler, dude. Like, more subtle. Wen gets stabbed in the shadows. It echoes Carpenter's less is more. There you go. And the cult. Well, producer's cut weaves them throughout. And the Man in Black 2, played by Mitchell Ryan, plotting like, horror Illuminati. There you go. The theatrical sidelines them, though, dude. Like, post Jamie's murder, making the Thorn cult feel like tacked on, essentially. Now, climax and ending are worlds apart. In the theatrical cut, Tommy crashes the cult's like Smith Grove reunion, in which Michael snaps free, turns on his masters, slaughters the Thorn in a bloodbath. Then the chase is on, essentially. And when I mean, like, he crashes the cult's like ceremony, there's not much of one, dude. It looks like we're gonna get one, but then we just, like I said earlier, you get that, like, it's somewhat brutal, but it's very, like I said earlier with Carpenter, it's less is more kind of feel to it. But anyway, the climax. Now, Tommy, Kara, Danny, and little baby Steven, they flee. Loomis stays behind only to reveal that the evil is not dead, as the last shot does show a simple Michael Myers mask lying on the ground. Dude, you can hear him in the background. It is rushed, and it's unsatisfying, dude. It's shot in like hiccup days, dude. Hardly any of Pleasance at this point. Now, producer's cut is pure insanity. Tommy is deciphering runes, using this method to freeze Michael. Jeez. And then you got Loomis, dude. He finds and unmasks a disguised Dr. Wynn, revealing that Michael has already escaped and passed on the curse to Loomis, who finds the symbol of Thorn, appears on his arm. I mean, it's ridiculous. The final shot shows Michael, now disguised as Dr. Wynn, walking away to escape the sanitarium. And of course, in this one, you can still hear Loomis in the background screaming, "No!" Which one wins, dude? Cult purists swear by producer's cut for like the lore payoff and Pleasance presence. I like that. Theatrical is a guilty pleasure, gore fest, but ultimately it's a mess, dude. Watch both. It's like alternate dimensions colliding, dude. H6 proves in horror the cut is the killer. So did it flop? Well, $15 million domestic on a $5 million budget. Not so bad, but not scream smash. Critics eviscerated this thing, dude. A thorn in the franchise side, as they would say. Bootleg producers cut tapes spread like wildfire online, dude. Pre-Reddit days, dude. Fans traded VHS tapes. They ended up dubbing this the Lost Halloween. And by 2014's official drop, it was canon for diehards. Why cult status? I think it's because it tries to explain Michael without cheapening him. And I'm talking nods to every prior film. Lambkin Lane address, anyone? Sorry. Rudd's unhinged Tommy like stills the scenes, dude. Pleasance burns bright in his finale. Legacy-wise, it killed the Thorn timeline, and it paved the way for H2O's reset, thank God. Influenced Halloween's Kills Family Curse vibes, though. And that, producer's cut ending fuels fan theories to this day. Flawed gem or franchise fever dream? I'd say both. It's Halloween for obsessives, it's the one that whispers the cult of Thorn is real. And we're still talking about it, dude. This movie, we're talking about it decades later. But Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers, cursed production, dueling cuts, near direct TV death sentence, yet it stalks on. Thanks for watching, folks. And please don't forget to hit that like button. And subscribe for more, of course. And as always, remember, folks, to stay rad. Make sure you own a copy, too, of both of these. I actually own a copy of both, dude. It makes sense. Trust me. All right, I'll leave you guys alone.